All right, I'm here with David Azizi from the law offices of David Azizi, and today we're going to discuss slip and fall accidents and trip and fall accidents. And this is something that people may not understand because a lot of people assume it's just the responsibility of the person to be able to walk, and it's not a big deal. But first of all, David, a slip and fall injury, explain what a slip and fall injury is in a minute or less.
Slip and fall injury is something where some type of a foreign substance that's slippery, it could be a liquid, it could be a shampoo, anything that is a slippery substance that causes somebody to slip, lose their balance, and fall, and as a result sustain injuries.
Okay, so and I would imagine I've worked in retail in the past, so I kind of know this answer, but I probably know most of the audience does not. Where do most slip and fall accidents happen?
In my experience, there's not any specific, but the more common areas or places that we've seen slip and fall happens are usually supermarkets, some of the bigger chain stores like Walmart, Target, some of the supermarkets like Vons, Ralph's. There's a variety, like we have here in California, Smart Finals. It's essentially places that I've noticed slip and fall occur is where there's aisleways of products where people are walking, their attention is taken away by the products that are on the shelves, they're looking at them, they're trying to find what they want, and they're not necessarily directly looking ahead of them to see what's there. And a lot of time there's clear substances or items that are on the floor that causes them to slip and fall, and unfortunately they suffer severe injuries.
So that brings up a good question about that. So you mentioned shampoos, you mentioned certain types of food. Is there a specific aisle that the duty and the responsibility of the store is to make certain that aisle is always checked? Like I said, I've been in retail, I kind of know this answer, but for the audience, where are the problem areas per se with a lot of these supermarkets and Walmart stores?
Exactly like you said, there are certain problem areas, like in the clothing department, there's probably chances are that you're not going to have as many slip and falls as where the department where they keep the liquids, like shampoos, drinks, fluid type materials that can cause somebody to slip and fall. However, having said that, you can have a potential person who loads up their shopping cart and the pressure of the load, or they put a big huge box in a shampoo, and that causes a spill on the aisleway. And the standard is that a store has to regularly inspect each and every aisle of their store to make sure that there's not any trip or slip hazard that exists within the store's premises, and remove that within a certain time frame. There's variances. Some stores do it every half hour on the hour, some do it every hour on the hour, but basically the law says that you have a duty and responsibility to make sure you check your aisles, there's nothing that would cause anybody to slip and fall, and that's what has to be looked at. So if somebody comes within a second or minute before your slip and fall and puts a big box in their shopping cart and that causes a spill, the store's position is going to be, well, this occurred a minute before ours. We didn't have any chance to find out about it. Now, the exception is if there is a store employee that's present at or near that area and witnesses or has the chance to witness that spill and just kind of looks the other way and walks away and doesn't clean it up, even though it happened immediately right at that point in time, the argument is you knew about it, you could have cleaned it up, or simply if they passed by that area moments after the spill, the argument is they should have found out about it and cleared it up.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I worked at a pharmacy retailer in a past life. We won't mention any names, but there are two main pharmacy retailers in this country, CVS and Walgreens, and CVS has the stance that all of their stores are carpeted, and all of Walgreens stores are linoleum. And as we have this conversation, I now completely understand why CVS has carpeted stores, because the likelihood of a slip and fall is so much less than linoleum. And I can remember being on overnight duty in stores, a different retailer, but they would wax the linoleum like shiny. I mean, it was to the point where the next day you come in and you're like, wow, this place is shining, but it's slippery. And it was the responsibility of the manager to put up signs and to make sure people didn't walk in specific aisles. So we discussed slip and fall. What exactly is a trip and fall?
Well, it's exactly what it says, a trip and fall. Something causes your foot to get caught, and in essence, you stop in your tracks and you fall. It could be a box. We've had cases a lot of times of trip and falls against the cities or the government entities, whereas a sidewalk has a rise in it, and that's because of a tree root or some other reason that the sidewalk is now uplifted. And most people, and a lot of times these are about an inch of uplift, and people see a big uplift of this much, well, that's something that's noticeable and you avoid it. But if it's about 1 inch, that's a tripping hazard, and it's not noticeable enough to where people are walking that they'd be able to watch out for it and say, okay, I got to watch out for that 1 inch rise. It's going to catch my foot and it's going to cause me to fall. And so those are situations of trip and falls. So that's usually the type of cases I see in trip and falls. I've seen situations where clients come around an aisle and are about to walk over and there's a box hidden there and it causes them to trip and fall. But that's an example of a trip and fall.
Excellent. So we discussed both slip and fall and trip and fall. If you have had either of these accidents and you would like to know where you stand as far as any situation, please contact the law offices of David Azizi. The phone number will be above in this YouTube video, and it will also be in the information below. And you can just search David Azizi or law offices of David Azizi on Google, and you will find the website for more information. And thank you for your time, David.
Thank you.